What is up, everyone? It's a new month and a new attitude here on DSP Gaming. All right, maybe not, but today is no joke. Even though it's April 1st, it's time for some fun here on the podcast. Today we'll be talking about how last night's Retro React stream went, some schedule updates, and why you should not listen to any news today. All this and more on today's episode of the Level 1 Podcast. Alrighty. Oh, wait a minute. Where am I? Hello? Oh, there you are. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. I'm DSP. Today is April 1st, 2024, which means it's the start of a new month. We've got some new background setup decorations. I've actually never had them in this particular arrangement before. And it's time to continue on with new games and fun here on the channel. Now, you may be asking, Phil, if it's April 1st, it's spring, why are you dressed up like you're on an island getaway? It's a good question. Because today, supposedly, it's supposed to be in the mid to high 60s degrees Fahrenheit, that is, outside here in Washington State. And when it's that hot outside and the sun is beating on my office wall, typically, this room will heat up by about 15 to 20 degrees. So arguably, it could be between 80 to 85 in here today, even with the window wide open, even with the fan on full blast. And I don't want to put the air conditioner in yet. We still have cold nights where I have the heat running. So I said, I'll just dress in appropriate attire, shorts and a nice shirt, and relax. And just enjoy the games I'm playing today without worrying about overheating. So that's what I'm doing. It's supposed to be like this today and tomorrow. And then it's supposed to actually get rainy and cool down for like a whole week. So I'll probably be back to long sleeve attire and everything after that. So, you know, it's good that I actually have stuff that I can wear that's appropriate, right? And I hope that you are excited for the content that is coming, because now we are all into new stuff. After having so many months of the RPG overload, it's done. Now we're all juggling new games and fun stuff, and I'm excited for this. We're going to talk about this morning, obviously. I want to give you guys an update on the Retro React that went down last night over on DSP Throwback, and also a hilarious follow-up to that, because my trolls are so effing stupid. They tried to cheat a poll in the most blatantly over-the-top obvious way. There's no possible way that you wouldn't know that they were trying to mess with it, especially because they've been talking about it all over the internet. They're so dumb. So I'll tell you the update on that. In addition to that, today's April 1st, which means it's April Fool's Day. And no joking here. I'm not going to be messing with you. I'm not going to be pulling the wool over your eyes and lying to you and trying to fool you. But already, there are fake news stories all over the internet. We'll talk about a couple of the stupidest ones here on the show today, just to have a little bit of a laugh. If we have some extra time, it's totally up to you guys what you want to do. If you want to do some suggestion box or otherwise, we'll see. Okay? Alrighty then. Okay, so, well, alrighty. Actually, I look like Ace Ventura. I just realized. Ace Ventura wears shirts like this, right? Okay then. Anyway, so I guess I can take the sunglasses off now. The gag is up. Welcome everyone to the podcast, and I hope you're doing well. I hope that you're not going to be inundated all day long with bad jokes, because April 1st is a day when typically people like to try to fool you into believing nonsense, and I just don't want you to get fooled. Already, the internet is rife with nonsensical crap. I can't believe how much. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And I used to do an April Fool's Day gag, all right, a running gag where every year I would do something silly on April Fool's Day, dependent on what I was currently doing. I remember one year, I did a series of videos that was like the best of, and basically what I did is, this is the best sports game, this is the best music game, and it was just a series of the Sega CD movie games from you know, way back in the day that are all terrible. They're literally, every one of them is awful. So it was just a running gag. There was another year where I said I was the best at everything. And so I actually was playing Street Fighter 4 online while I was playing another game, while I had something else going on. I was playing like 3 things at once. And you want to know the funniest part about it? I won the actual Street Fighter 4 match that I did online. It was a joke. It wasn't intended to actually happen, and it had been. Okay? So I've done things like that in the past. But in recent years, I don't really do it anymore. Only because, number one, already we got so much going on in games and the schedule and everything. I don't want to take away the whole gameplay stream from doing, progress in the stuff that we're enjoying together. And number two, quite frankly, when you get enough nonsense going on in your life with trolling and harassment, you don't really want to have extra drama. No lie, I had an idea for today. I was like, I know what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to boot up our game. After this podcast, I'm going to boot up a game. Instead of Alone in the Dark, it's going to be Baldur's Gate 3. And we're going to go into the character creator and make a whole new character and pretend like I'm starting my second run in Baldur's Gate 3. And I thought, that would be funny. And then Kat says, no, don't do that. I was like, why not? She goes, because then people are just going to get obsessive again about you playing Baldur's Gate 3 again. They won't stop. They'll be like, oh my God, play it again. And be serious about it. When you're just joking, they'll demand it and they'll be all obnoxious about it. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Actually, I know that crowd, some of those people, are okay and normal. And some of those people are like over the top obsessed with this game and probably would actually demand that I do the second run of it. So I'm definitely not going to be doing that. Okay. Yeah, no jokes here. Just a normal day. All right. And I hope you guys are ready for chill, fun, but new games. That's what I'm excited for the most, is that we're now into new games or refreshing new playthroughs. Everything in the rotation is feeling good right now, and I'm happy to be moving forward this week with all this stuff, and then heading into my birthday. My birthday marathon on Saturday should be really fun, and I'm excited for that. Not only are we going to be hanging out, having some drinks, having some food, having some fun, we're going to update the gaming schedule. We're going to react to my most viewed videos of all time on YouTube, which would actually be pretty fun. So, good stuff coming up this Saturday. I hope you'll be there for that. And we'll continue to talk about that over the course of the week and plan for it. But right now, Alone in the Dark, surprisingly good. You look at all these reviews from mainstream media outlets who all said that Alone in the Dark wasn't very good. And I played the first 3 hours of it, and I'm having a great time. The atmosphere, the story, the environments and stuff, and even the enemies jump scaring you and stuff. It's a fine game. I've already jumped a bunch of times, and I'm really enjoying the intriguing thriller, mystery, suspense plot, which we haven't had the likes of in a while. So what exactly is wrong with this game? I'm not sure. We're going to keep going. Some people have said, reviewers said the start was slow. Well, I loved the first 3 hours, so if you think that's slow, I guess as I get further into the game, I'm going to like it even more. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But great playthrough so far. First 3 hours have been great. I hope you've enjoyed the videos. And then Dragon's Dogma 2 continuing on as our late night chill stream. Right now we're finishing up the basic kind of introductory quests in the capital, and I'm sure the game's going to open up after that with a lot more to do. So I'm excited. I'm having a good time. I hope you guys are too. Great day ahead. And of course, tomorrow, guys, the return of Elden Ring. That's going to be interesting, to say the least. But we'll get to that in a sec. Anyway, what I would like to do before we get ahead of ourselves, because we're going to do the schedule, we're going to talk about the April Fool's news and stuff. I would like to talk about last night's Retro React, okay? Because here's the thing. The idea for Retro React is that on my DSP Throwback channel, which is meant to be reminiscing about the past and nostalgia, all right? I sit down and I watch an older playthrough of mine with the old style camera, the old style commentary, right? And I essentially react to it honestly in the modern day. And so far we've done this with Red Dead Redemption 1, Dark Souls 1, and Heavy Rain. And each one has felt a little bit unique and different. Like Red Dead Redemption 1 looked awesome because I was watching the remastered version of the playthrough that my editors are currently finishing up. We only have, I think, 2 to 3 more parts left, and that playthrough will be 100% completed over on DSP Throwback if you're interested in watching it. This playthrough has upgraded visuals, 60 frames per second in some cases. It's not always 60 frames, but it's upscale. Better text and graphics, redone audio, so you can hear my voice much better, and it takes out a lot of the echo and the nonsense that was in the original playthrough. And let me tell you, it shows because, for example, last night we were watching Bully. Oh, the audio was terrible. The audio was atrocious. You could hear all this environmental noise back in my condo in Connecticut. And I was like, dude, it sucks. You know, compared to anything I do today, it's really, really bad. And then I listened back to the Red Dead videos, and I'm like, oh, they sound much better. That's because they've been scrubbed. They've had audio scrubbing, so it sounds way, way better, right? So anyway, you know, Red Dead was an experience because we got to see the upgraded visuals. Dark Souls 1 was an experience because we got to see my old gameplay of playing that game for the first time, way before I ever learned how to play a FromSoft game. And man, did I suck. And it's hilarious to see me suck and not know what I'm doing. It's actually suspenseful. You're like watching me fight the Asylum Demon. Like, is he going to win? Is he going to win? Right? It's pretty suspenseful. And then Heavy Rain. Oh my goodness. Heavy Rain was a smash hit. You know, a narrative-based game. One of the classic playthroughs that I've ever done that actually got me lots of notoriety on YouTube back in the day. And a classic to this day that people still rewatch regularly because of the commentary. So it was awesome to go through. And you guys liked Heavy Rain so much that we actually did it 6 straight weeks. Because the original idea... all right? The original idea was supposed to be that we were not going to do Retro React every week. It was going to be maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, just as a variety thing that I throw into the schedule. But you guys liked Heavy Rain so much, you kept demanding I keep doing it. And I was like, okay, let's do it next week. Let's do it next week. And it worked, and people would show up and engage and support that stream. And in fact, no lie, those streams made the Throwback channel viable. With the amount of work that goes into it to make it happen, with all the work that editing the videos, you know, titling them, putting them into a proper playlist, you know, for posterity purposes, and having that stream once a week, that was definitely making the channel viable to do, okay? So then we had to pick the next project, and one of the things that had been suggested over the time that we were doing Heavy Rain was the Bully Scholarship Edition playthrough, among other things like Mass Effect 1, Bioshock 1, and stuff like that. So we had a poll, and Bully won by a pretty good margin. I want to say it was like 48% of the vote went to Bully. So we tried it last night. Now, I'll be honest, I was already skeptical. I didn't know how it was going to go, because this is not a fully narrative-heavy game. There's a lot of gameplay elements to it and stuff like that. And it's not, even though a lot of people like the Bully playthrough, it's not received as like a classic that I've done. A lot of people have watched it over the years and like it, but it's not, oh, that is the one playthrough that I watched of DSP's that I love and I rewatch, and it made me discover him on YouTube or anything like that, right? So we watched it, and it was about roughly just under 3 hours of reacting. We got through 10 parts of the playthrough, which is exactly what we were doing with Heavy Rain. We were doing about 10 parts in each stream. For the record, the playthrough is 108 parts. So if we were to actually continue with Bully and try to finish it, it would take about 2.5 months of React streams to actually get through the whole playthrough. Just throwing that out there. That's how long the game is. About, I think if you do the math, I want to say it's under 20 hours, but it's still a pretty lengthy game. Okay? So anyway. So I play it, and we're having a good time at first. It becomes apparent about halfway through the stream, it's definitely not as fun as doing the Heavy Rain Retro React. Like, even I started to feel a little bored because the game isn't as good as I remember. Probably because, you know, I've already played it before. It's a little dated now. There's still unique stuff to it. I think the music was one of the coolest things about the game. I really like the soundtrack. But some of the gameplay was a little repetitive. And I'm like, and people wanted to talk about things like reminiscing about school days and stuff. And that's fine. That was actually fun. In truth, I had more fun talking with the audience about our days at school and reminiscing about that than I did actually watching back the game. Just watching back the game to me wasn't that entertaining. Okay, and if I'm not having fun watching the game, it's not going to come through as a super entertaining stream. You know what I'm saying? So I did like it, but I didn't love it. I thought that it was just all right for a React stream. Okay? Cypress TV says that loud the loud sound that we heard last night on the Bully stream was my PC from 2011. Wow. It was that loud, huh? Holy shit. Because I was like, We always heard this ambient noise in the videos, and I'm like, is that the air conditioner? I looked it up. I played it in like February. There was no air conditioner on in February. So I was like, what could have been causing that atmospheric noise? And Cypress says, that was your PC. Oh my God. Boy, let me tell you guys something, all right? Today things are so different, and I'm so happy for that. I was such a stubborn, pig-headed, obstinate idiot back then. To be putting out videos that long of that visual and audio quality and not understanding that the audience was going to leave if I didn't upgrade, like, it was terrible. Even me watching it now, I'm like, oh, it's like hard to watch because you just hear, it's like, feels like you're in a wind tunnel trying to fucking watch this video. Like, oh, it sucks. So I'm glad now that things are different, but yikes, that video is hard to watch now. So anyway, so basically at the end of the night, all right, let me put it this way. Was it a disaster stream where no one showed up, no one engaged, and no one supported? Absolutely not. There was decent attendance. We had a good conversation in the chat, but it was nowhere near the levels that we had for Heavy Rain. Basically, you know, we didn't even hit the $50 tip skull, okay? We had a few super chats here and there, maybe 1 or 2 memberships, which is okay. And people are like, oh, well, this was good for a night stream. Well, technically, you're right. You know, usually my night streams don't do as well. They're slower, but I'm trying to maintain enough interest to keep this viable every Sunday night. You know, we easily could have done another game or continued with the playthrough you guys want, not doing these one-off streams that are just doing them for the sake of doing them, right? And with Heavy Rain, it was the opposite. Like, people were dying for more. By the end of the night, I asked you guys, what did you think? And the audience was torn right down the middle. Half of the attendance was like, yeah, that was a chill time. That was fun. Let's do it again next week. And the other half was like, yeah, that was pretty boring. By the end there, it really started to fall off. Let's do something different. So with a 50-50 split, I knew that I had to get feedback from everyone. So I put up a poll immediately. We actually did it right at the end of the stream. We put up a poll and said, hey, everybody, please vote on what you would like to see next week for Retro React. And here's the premise. 4 games, vote, and we'll do whatever wins the poll next week. If next week's stream ends up being more of the same, meaning less attendance, less engagement, less support, and it's just not as popular, then we're not going to do it every week. And that's okay. We don't have to do it every week. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm not upset at all. We have many, many things to do on the late streams. We have all these games to keep playing or whatever. So it's not a bad thing if we don't do Retro React every week. You see, it's actually perfectly fine. It's just that I want to be sure that I'm doing what you guys want. So basically, I put up a poll, and the poll was continue with Red Dead Redemption 1, which I think we gave it like one chance, and people didn't vote for it the next week, and then we took it out of the poll. So I said, we'll throw Red Dead back in there. Continue with Dark Souls 1, because actually some people on that stream were saying, this is kind of boring. Let's bring back Dark Souls 1. That one was really fun. So I said, let's put that on there. So continue with Bully, the third option. And then the fourth option is actually something that you guys had thought of yourselves and requested while we were playing Heavy Rain. Said, would you react to The Walking Dead Season 1, Episode 1? So for those who don't know, The Walking Dead Telltale series was incredibly popular back in the day. When it came out, it was its own storyline of characters set in the Walking Dead universe at the height of The Walking Dead's popularity in the year 2012. That was when the show was blowing up on TV and everything was ultra exciting about The Walking Dead. You know, before there were 17 TV shows, 24 spin-offs, and merch and action figures out the ass, and now no one really cares about Walking Dead anymore, right? Okay, so, that game was amazing for me. Number one, super awesome to be able to pick options and have people act in different ways and then commentate over it. Like, that game, first it was Heavy Rain, and then I would argue the second best ever kind of choose your own adventure playthrough I ever did was that Season 1 of The Walking Dead. I mean, that was one of the first games ever that I actually started crying at the end because it was so meaningful with such a sad, depressing ending, you know? So everyone always loved my Walking Dead playthroughs, like always, okay? And you guys asked for it. As we were doing Heavy Rain, people remembered, oh yeah, the Walking Dead playthroughs were really good that Phil did back in the day. It's the same style as, you know, Heavy Rain. Let's see if he'll do it. So you suggested it, and I said, well, you know, I don't want to put it in a poll immediately. We just did Heavy Rain, so I'd like to do a little bit of variety before we jump back into that style of game. So that's why it actually wasn't eligible for this week's Retro React. But after last night, I said, okay, well, Bully didn't do so good. So let's do a poll and let's actually put The Walking Dead into the poll and see if people would be interested in it. All right. So I put the poll up last night during the stream. Now, to give you guys some perspective here. All right. You ready? Last week's poll went up and lasted. It was live for a whole week. By the end of the week, it had about 475 to 500 votes within a week. It took a whole week to get that many votes. I put up the poll last night during last night's Retro React stream. This morning, 12 hours later, the poll already had 500 votes. What? So magically, the amount of people who follow the channel just exponentially increased in 12 hours, right? Huh? Like, what are you talking about? Right? So then I go and I look. These people are so dumb. They left comments on the poll that were troll comments. I'm not shitting you. They left comments that were like, oh, do a bunch of pulls in the WWE mobile game and then play Bully next week. That's what we want. Like, I'm not kidding. Those comments were on the fucking poll, and I'm like, gee, I wonder if trolls were instructed to come over here and skew the poll. How stupid can you be? Like, I mean, you want to leave some evidence? You ever seen you got caught red-handed? I mean, this is like being caught in the act of doing it while 25 police officers are all staring right at you with videotaped evidence, audio recordings, and a satellite feed onto you. Like, how stupid can you be? On top of that, I had already been told by 2 different people overnight that apparently they've been talking about it in their stupid detractor circles that they were going to do this, skew the poll, because they saw that Bully didn't do good. And they were like, haha, if we get him to play Bully again next week, the stream will again do bad. And anything we can do to annoy or hurt Phil, we should do. Ha ha ha. So I'm not kidding. 500 votes, 78% of the vote was for Bully. Gee, I wonder if that could be fake. All right. So in light of all of this, I have redone the poll. I've deleted the original poll and I made a new one. And I took Bully out of it. And the reason being, I'm going to be honest, I don't think Bully worked very well last night. I wanted to be fair and give it another shot, but it just didn't seem to work for me. Like, I got bored. And if I'm getting bored with what we're reacting to, that's not good. Like, I'll be honest, I was not bored with Red Dead. I was not bored with Dark Souls, and I was never bored with Heavy Rain. I was bored with Bully within an hour. So, I just don't think that's going to work, okay? So, now the poll's been redone, and there's 3 options. More Red Dead 1, more Dark Souls 1, or The Walking Dead. So please vote on one of those 3. I feel like any of those 3 would be a fine option, okay? And let me know, your thoughts here all week. I'll be listening, what you think. But the funny part was, if you actually looked at the poll, yes, there were 500 votes, but if you eliminate all the votes for Bully, The Walking Dead was in the lead by a large margin. I think The Walking Dead had like 20%. Something like that. And then the other 2 each had like 4 or 5% or something like that. Like very small. So basically, if you look at the initial poll results and you try to remove the outliers of the idiots, definitely people are looking at The Walking Dead as the next one. But that may not be. Let's see what happens over the course of the week. I am aware on the stream, a lot of people were leaning towards Dark Souls 1. They were like, yeah, Dark Souls 1 worked really well as the first stream. Maybe bring that back. So, please vote on the new poll that's over on DSP Throwback. If you want to know where it is, it's on the main channel page, and you go to the community tab, and it's right there. And I hope that you guys will vote. Now, Dab Hands just said in the chat, honestly, I'd rather see gameplay of current games than one of those. There you go. And if that's the case, again, this is a test case to see if this makes sense to do it every week. If we do another Retro React stream next week, and it's slower, and there's less engagement and less support, then I'm not going to do it every week. We'll do it maybe every 2 to 3 weeks as a variety event. And that way it won't bog down the other content and hold up the other content from making progress. And I hear you. A lot of people right now are happy to see the RPG madness end and just want to see good progress in all of the other games that I'm playing and are afraid that if I keep doing things like this, that this is going to hold up progress because I just keep doing other night streams and other things rather than gameplay streams, right? So, let's see what happens. Please vote. And over the course of the week, I'll try to gauge interest and see, how it goes and go from there. Okay? Fair enough? And also, I'll look at comments. I'll listen So people are saying, because yes, these morons tend to talk about what they're going to do publicly because they're idiots. They can't help it. That's the thing. Like, they'll want to troll, but they're just so, they have no self-control whatsoever. They just want to like brag all over the internet about what they're doing. So they always give away what they're doing somewhere, and I always find out about it. Even though I literally never ask, people always bring this information to me without me even asking. They say, so here's what's going on, and here's the evidence of it, and do with it what you will. Okay, thanks. Well, fuck the poll, delete it, because it's all fucked up from these idiots, and we'll start over and go from there, right? So we'll see what feedback we get, and again, I'll read comments, and I'll try to judge what you guys say here in the chat as well all week, and from there, we will decide what game will be Retro React for next week. Fair enough? Okay. Very good. Okay, so that's what's going on there. Hopefully, Retro React goes better next week. I like doing the Retro React stuff, but I don't want to be bored. I don't want my audience to be bored. I don't want to be set back on playthroughs we're doing while we're bored. So, hopefully, it'll be better, and we'll have a good time with it next week. All right? Vote. Cool. Okay, schedule. Let's go through it. Today, the return of Alone in the Dark 1. Alone in the Dark 1? Like there's more than one. Alone in the Dark returns on the first stream. Great game when I played it on Saturday. I had a lot of fun with it. I think it's a fine survival horror game so far. I'm excited with more. So I hope that you'll join me today after this podcast ends for the continuation of Alone in the Dark. It should be a good time. David Harbour's good in it right now. Like, he's acting well. And the gameplay elements are pretty good. The one thing that I would complain about is the combat's not that good. At the same time, it's survival horror. Combat's almost never good in survival horror. It's kind of the running joke is that you're kind of a clunky, uncoordinated mess, and that's what makes it scary because you can't really evade or do things in an efficient manner in these games. So I think that's fine, and the plot is great so far. The plot, we got all ongoing plot threads. First, it's a house of healing or whatever you want to call it, where a bunch of people who all have problems, mental, physical, or both, are supposedly getting treated by a doctor. But is the doctor a quack? Is he really well-intentioned? What's the deal there? They all have interesting backstories that are kind of mysterious. Then one of them has disappeared. You're trying to find where this guy went. You keep getting sucked into this other dimension world with monsters and stuff. So far, I think the plot is great, and I can't wait for more. Okay? I think it'll be great if you hang out and you like survival horror. You're going to have a good time with me here today on the first stream. Late stream tonight is more Dragon's Dogma 2. We jumped back into this back on Saturday night, and so far, I think it's fine as a late night chill stream. There's definitely a lot of combat and a lot of exploration of the world. It's not exactly the most plot-centric RPG you've ever seen at all. It's more action-based and travel-based, but I'm having a good time with it so far. We'll see what happens as we get further into it. We're about to finish like the major quest line for the capital city, and I'm assuming the game will probably open up more after that. We have like one more. I want to level up at the capital city at the inn, and then we have to go do one more monster hunt, and after we've done that, we return, and then we get to see what the next part of the game is. So we'll see tonight. Cool. Now tomorrow's a big one, because tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, on Tuesday, April 2nd, mark it on your calendars, mark it in history, etch it on the nice stone tablet. Hell, carve it into the cave wall. Tomorrow is the return of Elden Ring to DSP Gaming after about a year away. All right? Last year, I started my second magic run of the game, and we got 39 hours in, and my magic run had become incredibly powerful. The last thing I had done in my playthrough, I melted the Lich Dragon. Like, melted him. I got under him, and I just used this Kamehameha spell, whatever the hell it's called, Star Beam, or whatever the hell it's called. I don't even remember. And it just said, and his whole energy bar went, and it was done. I was like, that is crazy good, man. That is just so powerful. Now, I haven't played this game in a year. Already, I can tell you I'm going to be rusty. I don't even remember how to do the magic build. I don't. Like, I remember you have to, like, there's a setup to it. Like, don't you have to buff yourself first? Then you have to, like, put down a rune, stand on the rune, then charge and activate the beam. So that's a lot, right? Just to get one attack off. So I don't remember exactly how that's going to work. Okay? So we'll see. But I'm excited to get back into it. We have a lot to do still. We still have to do the second challenging underground area. I remember there's all these magical enemies you have to fight there. This eventually leads you to the big boss fight against the alien. And then we have the other magic plateau with dragons. And then we have other stuff to do. We have to go to the upper right-hand corner of the map. We have to fight all the frozen enemies, the giants. Then we have to go underground to Mohg's Blood Palace. So with all the stuff that's left, Elden Ringers, rejoice and raise your hands into the form of a spherical motion here, because Elden Ring returns tomorrow, and we got to get back into it. The thing is, I know I'm going to be so rusty that likely I'm going to have to practice a bit. I don't think we're going to be able to jump right into the hardest part. So maybe we'll like go to one of the optional dungeons or whatever that were off to the side and maybe do a run in it just to let me get readjusted and reacclimated to the game and remember how to play it with this build and everything. So I wouldn't expect tomorrow to be major progress at all. Tomorrow's like, welcome back to the world of Elden Ring. Get readjusted. Feel at home again, so that we can continue on with some of the harder content coming up in the playthrough. We're at hour 39. Hour 40 is welcome back after a year, just kind of chill, okay? So, now, the other fun part about this is, obviously, this is building up to the DLC coming out in June. So what I want to do is, over the course of April, I want to get to that point where we've beaten Mohg's Blood Palace, and now we're set up and ready for the DLC in June. And some people have already said, are you going to go back to the Hallig Tree? I don't know, because the thing is, I don't need to. Like, we've already beaten the Hallig Tree in the first run. It's definitely the hardest part of the game, but I've already beaten it and seen it. There's no real point to doing it a second time when I'm really doing this to set up for the DLC, which probably will be harder than the Hallig Tree, right? I also don't want to over-level, because I don't know what level the DLC will be. Likely the DLC will not scale, right? I don't think DLCs have ever scaled in a FromSoft game. So I don't want to walk into this DLC, wait, like level 200, because I did the Hallig Tree, and then everything's like piss easy. You know what I mean? We don't know yet. They didn't give that information out yet, did they? Like what level it'll be, or what they're expecting you, what expected level is. So I guess we'll see as I played Elden Ring over the course of April, you know, what content I'll really do. But I just told you kind of what I want to complete the magic quest line, because that's going to make my build even better. That's the whole Lonnie quest line, right? Or no, Ronnie. The Ronnie quest line. I want to complete that, obviously. But outside of that, I don't know. I'm definitely on the fence about redoing Hallig Tree, just because I don't know if it's viable, if it's even necessary. And I don't want to put myself out of range of the DLC. So we'll see as I play Elden Ring over them. Also, it depends on how many people are liking it, how it's doing. You know, if everything's going well and you guys are liking Elden Ring, then maybe we'll do as much content as possible. If you don't, if you're like, it's all right, then we don't have to do as much. We just get in line, get ready for the DLC, get to the Mohg's Palace, and finish it, and then just stop there, right? The DLC will be Sekiro-styled. Every boss you beat makes you stronger. It scales independently of the main game. I don't know what that means. That's the second time I heard someone say, oh, it's like Sekiro. Every boss makes you stronger. What does that even mean? I don't remember that in Sekiro at all. I don't. I really don't. How did Sekiro work? Every time you beat a boss, you leveled up? Why do I not remember that at all? Seriously. I have no recollection of that whatsoever. Whatever. Anyway, so yes. Tomorrow, I'm very excited for the return of Elden Ring and to see how it does. I hope you guys will join me for it as I get reacclimated to the universe, okay? Tomorrow night on the late stream, I'm going to attempt to play the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, which apparently has been fully patched, updated, and improved since its launch over 2 weeks ago when it was a humongous botched fail because it didn't work. It was glitchy as hell, lag, teleporting, hit detection was off. It was just a mess and completely unplayable. Supposedly they fixed it. They made it now. It's actually playable. Of course, the problem now is the player base is way less. But maybe we'll be able to jump in and enjoy a nice night of it. We'll see. I'm curious to see how it will do. Number one, how it will play, if it'll be fun to play and viable and working. And number two, if people will actually come to watch me play this game as a multiplayer game. I don't know. We'll see. Let's give it a shot tomorrow night and find out. And then Wednesday will just be another day like today. More Alone in the Dark and more Dragon's Dogma 2. And that ends my streaming week. I'm off from streaming on Thursday. When I return on Friday, it's going to be more Elden Ring. And if it worked, more Battlefront. If it didn't work, we'll find something else to do on Friday night. Whether it's Dragon's Dogma or whatever, we'll figure it out. Okay? Then Saturday, April 6th, is my big birthday bash marathon event for 2024. So now it's really starting to solidify. We're starting to see what exactly it is we're going to be doing during this event. So let's very briefly recap what we'll be doing. Number one, I'll be drinking. We're going to have liquor of some kind. I already have the Long Island iced tea left over from the Super Bowl event, but I'll try to get something else. I don't know what it'll be, but I'll have some liquor to drink over the course of the day as we relax together. Number two, schedule update. Going through the games release schedule for the rest of the year, solidifying the dates and games that I definitely want to play, finding the times of year where there won't be as much or it'll be lighter, and then trying to maybe brainstorm ideas of games or playthroughs we can do during those empty parts, okay? Number three, we're going to do a special react event where I'm going to be reacting live to my most viewed videos of all time on YouTube, including videos from the Dark Side Phil channel, this DSP Gaming channel, my old vlogging channel, as well as the KO Gaming channel when it was called KO Gaming. So it's going to be neat. I'm going to make a playlist of actually in order the most viewed video and then count them down basically. And we're going to watch them together. And that's going to probably be pretty fun to do, to see this trip down memory lane for my birthday. Number four, food. I'll have some food delivered that day, and we'll have a meal together, a feasting with Phil, if you will, which you guys seem to enjoy. Number five, cake. My wife will be making me a birthday cake live that day, and I'll be having a slice of it live on stream. And outside of that, since that probably is going to be a lot of content, no matter, even just that, we'll see where the day takes us. I believe that Derek said he was making some kind of a celebratory questionnaire that we could do together, where it'll be like questions about me and my history that we could like do a live quiz together and see who gets the questions right and stuff like that. In addition to that, I'm totally down for like multiplayer gameplay. Like if you wanted to see me do some Battlefront, or maybe you want to see me return to Street Fighter 6 for the first time in months and do some casual matches with the characters that I'm good with, I'd be down for something like that as well. Whatever the day takes us, I'm totally okay with that. Let's see how it goes and go from there. So yeah, let's find out. All right. It'll be a fun, chill, relaxing day. I'm sure we're going to have some people coming by to wish me happy birthday. A good day to swing by just to say hello and hang out for a few minutes. Whether you could be here all day or you could be here for just a few minutes, it's still going to be a relaxing, fun day where we just spend time together. I'm really viewing it as a day of just relaxation and celebration. This is not ultra serious. It's not like, oh, we have all these segments that we absolutely must complete in this time frame and we have to do this. No. It's more like just lean back and relax. What do you guys want to do now? Right? What's next? You want to just chill? Want to just talk for an hour? You want to have a topic conversation? You want to play a game? You want to do this? It's more relaxing. That's what it's all about. It's about a relaxing day to celebrate my birthday. All right? Because I'm turning 42, and 42 is the answer to the life, the universe, and everything. The problem is we don't know the question. So it's kind of useless information. But I will be that age. Finally, I'll be that magic age. I've been waiting my whole life to hit this age to say that. And now I'll actually be able to do that. Little Douglas Adams humor for those of you who don't know what in the holy hell I'm talking about. So, okay. Anyway, all right. So that's Saturday. Then Sunday, React Day, where we'll have my DSP versus the Internet clip show, and then Retro React, and we're going to see how your poll goes. We're going to see what people are saying over the course of the week. Because there's more trolling activities in the poll. I'm just going to disregard it, and we're going to do whatever. But we'll see. We'll see what you guys vote for and what people comment and say and stuff like that. And then after that, still have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll probably finish up Alone in the Dark next week because the game's not that long. For one to understand, if you rush through it and you know the answer to every puzzle and you kind of skip story elements, it's about 10 hours. If you take your time, you do the puzzles, you read all the logs, and you understand the story, it's about 15 hours. So probably we're going to beat it next week, which is good. That means we'll actually beat a game within like a year to a year and a half, or a year. Wow. A week or a week and a half after playing it. I rarely beat games that fast these days, so it'll be nice to have that playthrough done. And then basically start maybe something new. What would it be? I have no clue. Could it be a game we missed? Could it be a game that I started and you want me to resume? It could be whatever. We'll talk about it. I'm sure we'll figure it out when we get there. All right? But I don't want to jump the gun and get too ahead of myself. In addition, on my birthday, we're going to look at what games are out or coming out that you might want to see me play, and that'll help me make my decision. I actually heard there was another survival horror style game that was very interesting. People said it's right up my alley, this type of game I would want to play, and it did come out during like the last 2 months, and it just completely went over my head because I was playing these RPGs, but I can't remember what it was now that I'm thinking about it, I remember someone distinctly talking about it in the chat saying, this is really good for you. And I can't remember what it was. But I might like to stay on the track. If Alone in the Dark does good, because it's doing good right now, maybe I want to keep that pattern going. You know what I mean? But I can't remember what the hell it was. There's a Souls game where you play as a crab coming out in April. Yeah, someone told me about that too. A crab Dark Souls game. It's not really Dark Souls, but it's that style of difficult game that you play as a crab. Oh, that was it. Definitely Pizza Tower. That was the name of the game. Anyway. All right. So that's what's going on with the schedule and everything right now. I'm looking forward right now to my birthday event on Saturday. I think that's going to be pretty special. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for DSP News. It is absolutely official. As of this morning, Elon Musk is purchasing Take-Two Games, saying that he wants to advance video games to the next level, just like he's done with his purchase of Twitter and turning it into X. In addition, CD Projekt Red has announced, in light of this news, their collaboration with Rockstar to make a hybrid Grand Theft Auto Cyberpunk game. Now, I wish that I was joking, but this is just stupid. It's April 1st, and these are the dumb news stories that are all over the internet right now. Like, the dumbest things possible you can think of. Like, first of all, just think about this. Elon Musk buying Take-Two Games. Elon Musk is up to his fucking hair plugs in debt. You understand? He spent so much money to buy Twitter, and Twitter has not turned a profit for him. So he's completely up to it in debt. He can't buy anything else right now, even if he wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to start buying fucking game companies. Okay? He'd be out of his fucking mind to do that. So, no, he's not buying any game companies. Cyberpunk teaming up with GTA. Just think about that. Rockstar and CD Projekt Red together. Why would they do that? They're direct competitors. Why would they team up in order to make that? It doesn't even make any sense. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense at all. That they would be teaming up. They want to make games that are going to be good and make money for each themselves. There's no need for collaboration there. They would never do that. So, anyway, basically, this is the bunk news. All, you know, and there's like no exaggeration. I saw like 10 stories like this morning, and I was like, I'm not doing a DSP news segment today. There's no point on April 1st. There's absolutely no point in paying any attention to really anything going on the internet. You know, if there's something fun going on, like me, I'm streaming and I'm playing games. It's not a super serious thing. That's one thing. But you can't believe a word anyone says on the internet today. Everyone's going to be so full of shit with everything that it's like, it's not, you know, it doesn't even make sense. So I wish that we could have a nice news segment today, right? Where we could relax and talk about stuff coming up. But it's just a complete waste of everyone's time. The sad fact is there probably will be like one person who has like a real news announcement to make today, and they idiotically will actually release it today, and no one will believe that, right? I remember 20 years ago, Google announced Gmail. Gmail is launching on April 1st, 2004. And everyone said, April Fools, that's a funny joke. You know, Google would never do email. They come to find out it was real. They're just idiots. They put out their fucking press event on April 1st. Like people would believe them. They're so stupid. And then like a few days later, people were like, oh, wait, what? It actually exists? Huh? And now everyone uses Gmail, right? Anyway. So, yeah, pretty silly. But no, there's no news segment today. I'm not wasting my time. I'm sure maybe we'll have some real news tomorrow to talk about. But yeah, don't listen to any nonsense on the internet right now. You're just going to be wasting your time. Okay? Cool. Well, what I think we should do, let's do a few shout outs because I have a few to do already. Let's see where that leads us. If that leads into discussion, great. Excuse me. If not, and we want to do something else, we want to do Q&A, you want to do suggestion box, let's see. But let's start with the shout out so that way we can get people their credit and get questions answered and the like first. Okay? All right, so, and by the way, I'm already feeling good about my choice to wear this today. The sun has come out and is beating on the office wall already, and I'm feeling nice and cool wearing this. I'm so happy that I made the choice to wear the shorts and the short sleeve shirt today. So, And by the way, this is the shirt I was telling you guys about the other day when I went shopping on my day off. This is Izod. It's Saltwater is the brand, I think it's called, or something like that, or the line. And I got it for $12. And then you go to the store, like we went right to a regular clothing store, not a discount store after, and we saw these shirts for $45, and I was like, good stuff. Anyway, okay, let's get started. BB Phil did a super chat this morning. Says, any news on a possible new variety necklace goal? Right now, I'm not too keen on wearing jewelry or necklaces. No, I'm not really caring about that so much. Someone made a suggestion. Oh, okay. Someone made a suggestion the other day. You ready for this? Because I forgot about this. I was playing Alone in the Dark, and the main character wears a fedora, and I have a red fedora, and we ended up wearing it on that stream. But he also has like a tie, like he dresses nicely. And someone said, do you have any ties in your house? And I was like, well, I don't dress up in shirt and tie. And they're like, well, do you have them? And I looked, and guess what? Lo and behold, I do have 2 ties, all right, from years and years ago. I think I bought these ties for my wedding because I wasn't sure which one I wanted to wear. So I think I bought both, and then I just chose that day which one I was going to wear, and I couldn't even answer for you which one I wore. I have no idea. So I do have 2 ties, and someone said to me, Phil, do you remember how to tie a tie? Let's see. Do I remember how to tie a tie? Well, this might be very sloppy because I haven't done this in ages, okay? I think it goes somewhat like this. See if I remember. You got to hold it like tight here. Then you go around. Well, it's catching on my shirt. Go around like this. Yep. You hold it. Right? And then you just have it go up and over and through. Like this. So I did it, but it's horrible. I did tie it, but it's incredibly sloppy. But I did tie it from memory. Look at that. I haven't done that in a long time. So there you go. I actually remembered how to do it. It's really bad. It's not even or anything. And what I would do is you adjust it. You make it more even, right? But that's what it is. It's muscle memory. You know, I did it so much when I was in high school. It was a private high school, and you either had to wear a shirt and tie or a polo shirt. So I would alternate. And then I had an office job. For a while, I had an office job where you had to wear a shirt and tie or something else. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. I can tie a tie. It's just from memory. It's sloppy. It doesn't look great. You know, you can adjust it after the fact. You know, pull the shirt out, and, you know, there you go. Anyway, so yes, I can tie a tie, and we have them. Now, it's silly because people are like, well, you have a tie goal on your stream. By the way, it just unties just like that. All you gotta do is pull it. Will you have a tie goal on your stream? Probably not, unless people really, really wanted it, right? I don't know why people would care so much about a tie goal on the stream. If we were gonna do a tie goal, then it would replace the vest, basically, right? We do gunner glasses, hat, tie. I guess if we hit $200, then we would add the vest or something like that. Do you really think that when I'm playing Alone in the Dark, that we're going to be hitting $200 in tips? I don't. We didn't do that ever in like months and months. I don't think we're hitting that, you know. But I think, you know, it's just something silly to show you that I have it. Yes, I could still tie it. Good tie, too, Nautica. It's a Nautica tie. And, you know, from a bygone era of my life where I used to wear this kind of stuff all the time for work, right? There you have it. Cool. Okay. BB Phil did another super chat and said, do we donate for shots? Do you drink if you die in a video game, like in a drinking game? How will it work? Or do you just drink if you feel like it? Or the whole idea of donating for shots, like I did that for a year and I thought it was all right. And then basically the gimmick died out and people were like, this is stupid. So I stopped doing it. You know, the whole idea is I do want to have like a buzz during my birthday. So I think I'm just going to drink over the course of the day. Maybe we could figure something out that if I have hard liquor, 'cause I don't know what I'm going to have yet, that we maybe have like hard liquor or whatever, and someone does a big contribution, then I'll commit to taking a shot or something like that. But it won't be like a goal or anything. It'll just be something that we do, right? But I don't want the whole day to just be about, gee, will people contribute and get Phil sloshed? Like, that's not the point of the birthday marathon, okay? Your boy Lem, 31 months as a member. The last member milestone I remember was like 25, so he can't even, he can't remember the last time when he was paying attention, but here he just hit 31. You know, guys, it's April. In May, some people will be hitting their 3-year anniversary, and they're going to earn the Diamond Crown in chat for being a member for that long. Some of the longest running supporters will be hitting that big milestone come next month. That's cool, right? All right. LK did a super chat and says, bragging about cheap clothes is not a W. Bragging about cheap clothes is not a W. First of all, I wasn't aware that I was bragging. I was informing. I'm here to sometimes try to give some useful tidbits of information to my audience. And what I've been saying is, you can get shirts like this, which actually is a designer shirt. Izod is a designer clothing brand. It's not an El Cheapo knockoff brand. It's a name brand. And you can get shirts like this by going to one of these more discount stores. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go to, there's one of them that's a reseller where it's either very lightly used or never used clothing, and you can get it for super cheap. Or there's other ones. There's ones like, what is it? Like Marshalls, or Burlington, or what's the other one? There's like 3 major ones that all do it the same way. Okay? And basically you're getting the same clothes. You're just getting them for a big discount because they didn't sell when they were on the store shelves of the full price store. Ross, that's another one. Ross is another one, correct. Games, I never heard of Games, but maybe Games is one too, but Ross is definitely one, right? So you just go right in, and I mean, yeah, it's a mess. Those stores are usually messy. Nothing's organized. They claim to organize by size, but half the time they don't. It's all messed up. But you just go in there. You're basically, it's last season's clothes. Big fucking deal. Do you really need to wear the clothes the season that they're sold new? That's like saying you can't drive a car that's last year's model. Oh, I can't do that. I have to always have this year's model. Like, what are you, a fucking rich idiot, right? Of course not. But yeah, you go in there and everything's cheap. Like I said, this shirt was I want to say this shirt was $12.99. So $12.99, brand new. Still had the new tags on and everything. Never sold. Designer shirt, looks nice, comfortable. You go right across the street to the full price clothing store. They're selling the same shirts for $45. It's the same fucking shirt. Right? So why are you going to pay $45? So are you saying that if I went to the full price clothing store, right, and I came in on the stream and I said, hey, I just spent $50 on this shirt, that's a brag that's worth bragging about? No, it's not. You're stupid. You went to the store and you bought it for way more than it's worth because you're an idiot. You want to brag about you blew your money like an irresponsible idiot. How is that a brag? Right? When someone, look what I got. I got a fucking crazy wristwatch. You know what I say? You're an idiot. First of all, who the fuck needs a watch? Your phone tells the time now. No one needs a watch anymore. It's a completely worthless piece of technology that's completely outdated. You blew money on something that's completely worthless. You could have spent it on anything else. You're an idiot. So your point here is no point. You're an idiot. You're saying basically I'm bragging about cheap clothes. Not bragging, helping my audience. I'm telling you, hey, don't go to that name brand clothing store. Go across the street to the store where everything is the same quality and you can get it for cheap. That's what I do. And that's how because people have been asking me, how'd you end up with all those shirts? You know, you're not spending a lot of money on that, are you? No, I am not spending a lot of money on these clothes whatsoever. I would not. I'm not that kind of guy. But it's funny because I've been getting nice clothes on the cheap. I want to help out my audience and tell them how I'm doing it. That's a brag? No, that's advice, you fucking idiot. So, thanks for the super chat, dumbface. Okay. All right. Tegan did a super chat and says, a suggestion, do an air ads for your own products or sponsorships. You could be the Paul Harvey of YouTube. I have no clue what you're talking about. What is an air ads and who is Paul Harvey? I don't know. Thanks for the super chat, though. I appreciate it. Excuse me. I don't know. I never heard of him. Okay. So that's the YouTube side of stuff so far. Now we scoot over and we got the first tip of the day. It's a $15 tip from BB Phil. Wow, BB Phil's all over the place. BB Phil with super chats and BB Phil with a tip. Thank you, BB Phil, for the first tip of the day. I couldn't find the dollar sign. I don't know where the hell it was. I missed it like 7 times in a row. Okay, so BB Phil says the following. Final attempt to salvage Phil's feast for Europeans. While I'm really looking forward to it, I understand we can't buy the exact same meal for the same chef. Can you announce at 1 p.m. what you're having? From a local place you're getting. Are you going to get some kimchi or bibimbap or whatever else? I live in a big city. I could at least attempt to match the dish. Even though my bibimbap would be very different, it still feel more like we're having a meal together. Also, ordering at 4 p.m. on your end, you'll have to announce the order at 1. I don't even know. Here's the thing. My wife and I probably won't even know what we're doing till the night before. Just being honest. Like, we're probably looking at food the week and then decide the night before. We'll probably end up, like, ordering the night before because you can order ahead of time. So that way, it's already set up and we don't have to, like, rush to do it or whatever. Well, I have no idea what we're doing right now. Maybe I could tell you during that stream. We'll see. But I don't know. Sometimes I just like to have it be a mystery because then it's the element of surprise when I do it and people are more interested, right? Like, what if I announced, I'm getting a big sandwich and people will be like, sandwiches aren't that interesting, and then people won't tune in. But I don't say what it is, then more people will say, oh, I wonder what Phil ordered for food, and he'll show up to see what it is during that segment, right? So, and by the way, I'm not saying I'm getting a sandwich. We're probably not getting a sandwich. It'd probably be something else from a restaurant that, you know, more fancy or something. We'll have to see. But anyway, do you see my point? If I know ahead of time and I feel like telling you, I will. But I don't know. Right now, I have no clue what I'm going to do. Okay? Okay. So thank you, BB Phil, for the first tip of the day. I really appreciate that. See, Don Finucci says, do some authentic Italian. Get some eggplant parmesan and calamari. You know, I wish. I seriously wish. There just aren't many real Italian restaurants out here. And what I mean by that is, I'm serious about this now. The most popular Italian restaurant out here in this area of the country is Olive Garden. That's terrible. Olive Garden is awful. It is so fake. It is totally not real Italian food in any way, shape, or form. It's basically a bastardization, an American knockoff. It's absolutely fucking terrible. Okay? I hate it. I've had it like 3 times in my life, and every time I've said, maybe they've changed and improved, and every time I go to get it, and I'm like, what the fuck did I do to myself? Right? It's the same as going to like Red Lobster and expecting you're going to get authentic, awesome quality Italian food. Because if you don't know, Red Lobster and Olive Garden are exactly the same company. They just brand their food differently, but it's the same exact company. That's why all the food sucks. Anyway, so there are a few Italian restaurants out here that aren't bad, but they're just too far away. Like, they're way far away. One of them is like 45 minutes away. One of them, again, is like 40 minutes away. So none of the delivery places will get food from them. They're all considered out of range. So we can never get Italian food. Like, we never do. We haven't had Italian food in years. I think since Kat moved in with me in 2018, we've maybe had Italian food a grand total of 4 times. Now, I'm not counting pizza, by the way. I'm just saying real sit-down Italian restaurant food. We've only been at like maybe 4 times. So, excuse me. Whew. You could make it. I mean, yeah, of course I could make Italian food. I could make my own sauce and we could have pasta, but what's the point? The point was that we're ordering food for my birthday. Now I'm making food on my birthday. I don't have a favorite pasta. I think that pastas are good in different situations. Like if I'm at a restaurant and I'm ordering a main dish like a chicken parm and they offer me a side of pasta, I prefer like a side of spaghetti or a side of linguine with just a basic marinara. If you were asking me, well, what about a dish that has like other stuff in it? like meat and stuff, then I probably prefer like a short noodle pasta, because that way I don't have to be slurping it up with stuff going all over the place with other ingredients and making a big mess, like maybe a rigatoni or penne or something like that. But I also like other pastas that are like stuff like uh not ravioli. What's the little one? Tortellini. I like tortellinis. I think tortellinis are great. And you can have meat in those, you can have cheese in those. There's all kinds of different pastas that are amazing. So I really don't have a particular favorite. I think that they're all good in different things. Do I like risotto? I've only had risotto a few times. And usually it was like as a side or something. So I don't think that I've ever had like a major, I just ate a risotto for dinner. So I don't really know. I'd have to get a good risotto from someone that knows what they're doing, I think, to make a comment on it. Squid ink risotto? That sounds interesting. I wonder if it tastes very different. If it's just the coloring because it has the squid ink in it, or if it legit tastes like a flavor because the ink tastes like something. I don't know. Yeah, the classic DSP beam, I prefer a penne. Because it's easy to eat. I don't even remember saying it, but I must have said it at some point and someone made a meme out of it, right? I don't remember actually saying it, though. I should get back to the East Coast. Why would I want to do that exactly? When I lived on the East Coast, all right, the weather was atrociously bad. The prices were sky high. The taxes were sky high. It was overpopulated, overcrowded. The only benefit was like the food. And of course, my parents being there. But that's it. Like there was nothing else of value there. Okay, there was one other thing. I miss diner food, and I miss small independent restaurants doing good food, like American style. Like I like going to Duchess. I like going to Tomlinson's. I liked going to diners in the area and sitting down and just getting a fresh plate of food. They don't have that kind of stuff out here, because out here it's all Asian culture. Because when Asians come to the United States, they go to this airport over here, SeaTac, and a lot of them just settled here when they came to the States. So all the restaurants around here are primarily from the Asia. So you've got all kinds of, Japanese, Chinese, Filipino, Vietnamese, Hawaiian, Indian, and then even some Mediterranean. There's like some Mediterranean restaurants, but it's like, where's the Italian restaurants? They don't exist. Where's the American style fare? Like an actual American style diner doesn't exist. That's not out here. So that's what it's like. It's like very cultural stuff, which is good. It's good to have that cultural flair and variety. But then when you just want to go back, it's like, all right, I just want something more basic American. Oh, it's not here. Like, oh shit. Well, that sucks. All right, what are you gonna do? So anyway, yeah, that's what I miss. So I would say that I miss true Italian food. I miss American fare food, and I miss my parents. That's what I miss about the East Coast. Outside of that, there's no reason for me to go back to the East Coast at all. At all. Let's see here. I received a $2.22 tip from a huge throbbing penne. He says, have you had any interest in watching the Emperor romance scene in Baldur's Gate 3? No. Absolutely not. I think that was one specifically for Japanese people who prefer the tentacle persuasion, I think they call it. But I have no interest in seeing that. Thanks. Let's see here. I received a $20 tip from 1 Minute Man. Biggest tip of the day so far. Let's see what he has to say. He says, oh, what did I do? I screwed this up. Okay, so he says, Alone in the Dark is probably a good choice for you as you recover from RPG overload. However, for a seasoned player, hard difficulty should be more appropriate. and make the gameplay more unpredictable. So far, the game seems to be an entry-level game concerning enemies, puzzles, and pacing, as opposed to games like Alan Wake or Evil Within. Would Olive Branch be more appropriate? What does that mean? Olive Branch. I understand your entire comment, and I'm gonna answer it. But what is Olive? He says, would Olive Branch be more appropriate? I don't know what that means. That you lost me on the last part. Okay, but in regards to this game, whenever I play a brand new game or a new IP, I always play it on the standard difficulty. So that way, when I judge it fairly. Like, for example, if I played Alone in the Dark on hard on the first run, and then I feel like it's too difficult, well, that's on me because I picked hard. I'm an idiot. I should have played it on the standard difficulty first to see what the game is intended to be like. And then, if I want to do another run later to challenge myself, I play it on hard. There's a few exceptions where I haven't done that. And for example, Resident Evil 2 Remake. The reason that I played it on the hardest difficulty there was because I've already played Resident Evil 2. I already know the entire plot. I already kind of know the general way to play it because I already played the original game. So playing the remake on harder difficulty makes sense. It's kind of like making an added level of challenge for something I might already know a lot about, right? So that's why I did that. Sometimes it backfires. For example, playing Resident Evil 0 on hard, it makes it unfun. You get to the point where you can even soft lock yourself, right? So that's why when I play a game genuinely for the first run, I always do standard. You know, that's why. And I hear what you're saying. Survival horror could be more tense if you pick the harder difficulty. But I definitely, especially after having not finished Resident Evil 0, because I soft locked myself playing the harder difficulty, that's not what I wanted to do with this one. That's a brand new one. So that's why I did that. But fair enough. It's a good suggestion. Now, as for Olive Branch, I don't know what you're talking about. Would Olive Branch be more appropriate? That I don't get what you mean. You lost me on that part. Everything else in your tip comment, I understood. So thank you for the tip, 1 Minute Man. Appreciate that. Okay. Let's see here. The Villain, at 34 months as a member at the super supporter level, thank you to The Villain, says, when is the return of Street Fighter 6? Well, we could see it as early as Saturday during my birthday marathon. If you want to see it, I could do a segment of casual play, picking the characters I know, and maybe get me into it again. Okay? As for when will it come back regularly, I'm enjoying my break from fighting games right now. Okay? I really am. We will go back to it. I'm guaranteed to check it out when Akuma comes to Street Fighter 6. That's the earliest that we'll go back like a full-time coverage and trying to get it back to the mix. But we don't know when Akuma's coming out yet. There's no date. Nico, thank you for a super chat this morning. I appreciate that, Nico. Let's see. I received another tip here. Thank you guys for your contributions this morning. I got a $3 tip from Big Huge Star Delt Shoulders. Interesting name. Can you add any of your Metal Gear Solid playthroughs in your throwback selection playlist? Would love to see you react to one of those. Oh, fair enough. We could do that. I could react to my classic playthroughs of Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, or 3 if you wanted to see that on Retro React. That's actually a good suggestion I don't think anyone came up with yet. Thank you. I actually really like that suggestion. Because people might want to see me flub through and how bad those playthroughs were the first runs. Great suggestion. All right. Let's consider that. For sure. Let's consider that. And maybe we'll get that into the poll for the next one. Good. Good idea. In fact, I would add it into the poll right now, except I already redid the poll this morning. I don't want to keep redoing the poll and having people's votes be erased. So maybe for next week. I really like that idea, actually. Which one would you guys like to see more? Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, or 3? Out of the original runs that I did, which one would you like to see the react of more? Two? You think 2? Yeah, but if you remember, I just want to say this. I already reacted to the This Is How You Don't Play a Metal Gear Solid 2 2 years ago. You remember, I already did a react to it. So, I don't know if reacting to 2 makes sense, because I already did that, kind of. Right? I like the idea. That was a great idea. Whoever you were, what was your name? Giant Delts or whatever? That was actually a significantly good idea. Thanks. I don't know why I didn't even think of that. Sometimes you have a brain fart, right? Like, that's a super good idea, because everyone always made fun of my original runs of those games. I wasn't intending for those to be serious runs regardless. I was being a jackass during those playthroughs, so. Oh, let's see here. I received a $10 tip. Thank you so much to Gregor. He says, wow, you have editors now? I remember a few years ago, there was no way for you to have paid employees. You've turned your life around financially. Well done. Gregor, I've already stated many times that I don't pay any employees. I can't afford to pay employees. These are people who stepped up and said they wanted to help out with the channel, particularly wanted to help out with the idea of a throwback channel where I preserve my content for posterity purposes. Ideally, these people are learning skills that they're going to use in the future, right? Like, they're editing my old content into 30 minutes. They're upscaling. They're audio scrubbing. They're adding frame rate. You know, they're doing thumbnails. So they're doing all this work, and this work is going to add to their repertoire that they can use in the future. That's why they're doing it. They offered their services to me as a way to make the throwback channel viable, and also, you know, get some work experience under their what do they say? Under their skin, under their, I don't even know how you say it. But that's why. No, I can't afford. Like, for example, someone, who was it, OP Boone? He had a great suggestion. He says, why don't you do once a week a night stream where a bunch of people submit content, and basically you scrub the content, go through the content, and watch the submissions live and react to it. I was like, that would be great, except I need a team of people to take the content, scrub the content, put it into threads. That's how other YouTubers do it. They pay employees to sit there and edit for them, to edit their content submissions, to do that work for them. I don't have time to do that myself. I'm already here 6 days a week full time, streaming and working as it is. I can't do all that myself or juggle it. And I said, well, why don't your editors do it? My editors already have their hands full with what they're doing. Do you not notice the great thumbnails on all the videos? Do you not notice all the work going into DSP Throwback? Like, they're chock full loaded with work as it is. They can't do any more, right? And I can't pay someone to do it. So that's what I mean. I'm very limited in what I can do. I'm happy that people are enjoying the improvements and things that we're doing, but then continuing to request more and more, it's like, you got to draw a line at some point, you know? But anyway, thank you for the tip. I received a $2 tip from Lady Charisma. I know I'm a few months late. Back when you asked about VR as a display to work, I forgot to mention, I use it when I do 3D modeling. It's a way to get a full view of what you're working on. Not going to be around for the streamers today. I'm a sightseeing. Oh, okay. So you're saying you can use, like, 3D model viewing in VR. That makes sense. I like that VR has other applications. It's just funny that you never hear about them, right? Like, I remember when the PSVR first came out, people were like, oh, when VR technology takes off, you know, doctors could use this as a way to look at scans of the human body and do medical stuff. Like, that's great. Did a doctor ever do that? I mean, we're almost a decade later. Did a doctor seriously ever do that yet? Like, it's like we have this technology that has potential, but no one has ever actually delved into the potential and to see what application it really could have. Instead, we're trying to sell it as a game device, and no one really wants it as a game device, hence the failure of the PSVR 2, right? Some doctors do use VR. Well, that's good to hear. Play Cool says, I used my MetaQuest 3 yesterday. I used Wi-Fi with my laptop, and it has multiple screens on the go, and it helps me to work remotely. Oh, that's cool. That is pretty cool. They could use VR for training with construction. It's got a lot of training applications. That's neat. Oh, imagine that. You get a job, you're going to train, put on this VR headset, and you're in a virtual environment, and you can touch things and learn how to do job tasks in a VR environment. That'd be pretty sweet, actually. I don't think I would actually enjoy that. That's a good way to learn. That's true hands-on learning, right? Jade says, what about Mortal Kombat 9 in the throwback reacts? Now, when you say that, Jade, do you mean me reacting to it, correct? You don't mean me restoring the playthrough or anything, right? I could see that, like, me like the story mode. I don't think it wouldn't work for the gameplay, like the competitive play, but maybe watching the story mode of one of the old Mortal Kombats and commenting on that. Yeah. If people want something like that, I don't know if there's demand for something like that, but if people were interested, that would be pretty fun. Good morning, Jack. How are you? Good to see you. right. I see a few troll accounts in here. I'm just getting rid of them. I'm not going to put up with the nonsense. Okay. There's a forklift operator VR application. I'm glad to hear that there's useful applications for this outside of gaming. Because I'm just being honest. I just don't think it's ever going to catch on as a mainstream thing with gaming. Just like motion controls never did. There was an era where it was a fad and a gimmick, and then it completely died and no one wants it anymore, right? It's kind of the same deal. It's just another accessory we don't want. We don't want to put a giant fucking thing on our head to play a video game. And need giant amounts of space to waggle around and play a video game. We just want to sit and play and enjoy, right? So the whole point is not to have this elaborate setup to do it. Dax Magain says, I'm getting a PS5 for the first time. I want to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and 16. Any other exclusives you can recommend? God of War, although it's cross-platform, God of War Ragnarok, super good on the PS5. Obviously, the first exclusive that everyone played and talked about, Demon Souls, runs better, looks amazing on PS5, actually. But it's a very outdated game as it is gameplay-wise, so expect older, frustrating gameplay. But it looks great. Outside of that, it's hard to find exclusives. It just is. Like, there just have not been many or any good exclusives this entire console generation when you really think about it. Like, what PS5 exclusive? Spider-Man? I guess Spider-Man 2. It's a good game. Is it groundbreakingly amazing where you must play it? No, but it's still a solid game. It's a fun game. One of the best games of last year. Yeah, it is. Right? BB Phil says, might there be time to react to your Evo East match versus Justin Wong on your birthday? If people really wanted that, I figured people would like more of me reacting to my most popular videos of all time. We can analyze them and figure out why they were so popular, if they were funny at the time, as opposed to watching fighting game coverage. Like, I could see me doing like a fighting game event at some point in the future where I react to matches of me on the internet. I react to my old classic playthroughs of fighting games. I play fighting games online that day. Like, that would be cool. Like maybe a fighting game marathon, right? I think that would be neat. Maybe like if they announce season 2 of Street Fighter 6 is coming out on a certain date, I set up a marathon for right before that. It's the fighting game marathon, fighting game frenzy or something we'll call it. And it'll just be me reminiscing and playing fighting games and doing that kind of stuff all day. I think that would be neat. I don't think it would make sense on the birthday, though. Excuse me. How do I deal with trolls trolling me on my main channel? Block them. Just like everybody else. I don't know what else to say. Set it up. It's just simple. Set it up, just like I have, that all your comments on your channel are approve only. Meaning when someone leaves a comment and goes into a queue, you review the queue a few times a day and you approve comments, and all the other troll comments you just delete and block immediately. That's how I operate my channel, and it works fine. For Elden Ring, am I planning to respec to a melee build for the DLC because magic is an overpowered steamroll? I don't know. What I thought we would do is play the DLC and the first new weapon we get, go respec to use it, right? Because we have a ton of respecs built up for that run. So why not do that? Why not play till we get a weapon? Like, oh, I want to try the new weapon. So let's respec and use whatever the new weapon is. Because I don't know. Didn't they say there's going to be like 12 new weapons or something in the DLC? Try them out, right? That could work. No, I don't want to just run through the DLC nuking everything with one hit. I think that'd be pretty stupid. Inflamed Nut, what a great name, says your old DSP Tries It videos are a neat catalog for old food items that are no longer around. That was kind of the point. I was always trying to do the limited time special fast food items that were out. And it's kind of fun to watch the old DSP Tries It videos and reminisce about old food things that they used to offer. Because there's some weird shit that I tried over the years. Like, what the hell that existed? Some weird burgers or sides or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty neat in that regard. Anything else, guys? Anything you want to talk about before we begin with Alone in the Dark today? We're coming down to the wire here for the end of the show. You guys are quieting down now. What's going on? Bill says, I feel you're unfairly critiqued when you're offering a nuanced perspective on societal issues but get labeled a fence sitter. I don't know anyone who labels me anything. I don't pay attention to those idiots. I don't listen to anything they say. I just talk and say what I want to say on my streams, and I move on, and I don't hear nothing, so I don't care what they say. Fence sitting? Better to have a tempered perspective on something than to be an extremist who literally swings one or the other way just to get attention for yourself, screaming like a fucking petulant child trying to get attention on the internet, which is sadly what a lot of these political creators do. They literally have to just whine and complain about every single thing that the opposing party does to try to get clickbait views and attention. It's a joke. It's fucking stupid as shit. Game Boy says it would be cool to see you react to the first few parts of East Metal Gear Solid playthrough. The audience can gauge to see which playthrough they want to see react to in full. Jack says, I tried to join your throwback channel. It wouldn't let me, but I can join the reaction channel. Is it a setting? No. I don't know what that means. You mean become a member? If you can become a member on one channel, you technically should be able to become a member on any channel. So I have no clue what you're talking about. And we got new members last night on the throwback channel. So it's not like the memberships don't work. They do. So I don't know what you mean. Seems as good to see you're getting support. You're great to watch. Appreciate the way you handle detractors. But thank you. At this point, I just ignore them. I pay no attention to the nonsense. Unless they try to skew a poll and hilariously leave idiotic comments on it so I know that they're doing it because they're so stupid. Then I'll take care of it. But, you know, they're just idiots. Just ignore them. How old does the playthrough have to be on DSP Throwback? Currently, it makes more sense to do any playthrough that's my old camera style. That would be, you know, early 2013 or previous, because that would be considered my old style playthroughs. Eventually, we'll probably get to other ones that were direct capture, but not interactive streaming. But I think right now we probably want to keep it to the more retro style first. Did I ever play The Curse of Monkey Island? I played the first one, and I think I want to say I even played the second one. At one point, they were released on Xbox 360. And remember, I've been a console gamer for most of my run on YouTube. And so when they came out, I think I played the first one, and I raged at it, man, because I wasn't cheating. I wasn't looking stuff up. And that game is so cryptic on how to, you know, find an item in the environment, how to use a specific item, where you use it. Some of this stuff doesn't even make sense. You know, it's like, use the bucket on a donut. Huh? Yeah, use the bucket on a donut. That's how you get the bucket of sprinkle juice. And you pour that on top of a parrot, and the parrot shits out a golden egg. And you throw the golden egg, and it distracts a robot that jumps off a cliff and electrocutes itself. And the electrocution fries up some fish, and you catch the fish. And that's what you need to feed the lion that's guarding the castle. And then you get into the castle. That's how you solve the puzzle. It's like, what the fuck? How was I supposed to know that? It's pretty insane, that game. But anyway, I enjoyed them when I played them, but I haven't played it in a zillion years, anything like that. Iron Man the Power says, last night he got the Battlefront Classic Collection. Did you play it online, and how is it now? I'm just curious if it's better, because when I played it, it was awful. But I think they've improved it now, because I'm going to try it tomorrow. You like how I supported RTU Rich when he was down? I don't remember that. I didn't support anyone. I'm trying to tell you guys, like, I'm like a neutral party who just wants everyone to be happy and wants to be left alone, right? Ultimately, the way that I can be the best happiness guy and be successful is to just be here in my own lane, making content I enjoy, listening to your feedback on how to improve, and just being left the fuck alone by everybody, right? When did I ever go out of my way to prod someone or piss someone off? Or these people who always talk about me are people I have nothing to do with at all. But they just think they get popularity and they benefit by always trying to fucking bring me down or make fun of me. So I don't care what happens to Rich. I wish him the best, because as I said, I feel like people who are happy, truly happy, don't need to punch at others, right? If you're truly happy, if everything's going good for you and you're having a good time with your life, a good time with your work, You're not jealous of anyone. You're not angry at anyone. You don't have to attack other people around you. You can just be happy, correct? And that's the thing. Like, I really feel like these people out there who do this kind of content just aren't happy. Whatever reason, something's happened in their life, or they can't be successful doing the kind of stuff they want to do. So they have to go on that trend of drama or negativity towards others. It's the only way they can even get a view, because they're not pertinent in any other way. In fact, they're just not pertinent at all. But because they ride that toxic wave, they get views. And it's sad. It's fucking sad. If people would just be nice to each other, I think the world would be a much better place. And no one wants to be like that on YouTube. Everyone's like, oh, every chance I possibly get, let me fucking jump down someone else's throat. Let me, take advantage of the bad thing happening to this person for my own personal gain. Gossip, 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 right? And I'm not like that. I don't care. You guys told me about the situation with Rich and his editor, and I'm like, listen, I don't care. I wish Rich the best. I wish that there would be no drama at all. I feel like if everyone was just getting by nicely, no one would be, mean to each other, right? And that's it. Some people are like, well, he's talked so much crap about you over the years, and he's benefited financially from you for so many years by making fun of you. Don't you wish that he had a downfall? No, I don't. I really don't. I don't care. I have nothing to do with these people at all, ever. Tell me about any interaction I ever had with Keemstar before he started creating drama for me. Zero. I don't even fucking care about the guy. Why do I give a shit about him? Right? It's when they start the shit with me, right, to try to get some kind of benefit for them, and then I get pulled into their vortex of shit, So I want everyone to just be happy, but I never stuck up for Rich. I don't know what you're talking about there. I basically just said, hey, live and let live. I'm sad to hear that he's having a bad time and things are bad for him. I don't want people to have bad times and have things go badly for them. I don't. Right? There you go. Did I ever play Maneater? No, I didn't. I knew about it. It was even on either Game Pass or PS Plus at one point, but I never got around to playing it. So. And like I also said, I just want to say personal thanks to my viewers and fans for not pulling me in the drama. I'm well aware that there's idiots who try to cause drama all the time, and you guys don't bring it up anymore, and I'm happy for that. I'm happy that you guys literally don't bring drama to my attention, because I don't care about it. I have no response to it. I don't care what people say and do when it comes to me. I just let them do whatever they want, and let's just be here and have fun together every day, and just ignore. They are just completely meaningless to me, right? They don't mean anything. That, thank you for not trying to bring down my content with trash drama. I just don't care. Okay? El Grey Zoro says he's been playing the Tomb Raider remastered games and he loves the original Tomb Raider games. They did a good job with the remasters. Hopefully I'll play them. Yeah, when it came out, I wasn't super interested, only because I knew that the older Tomb Raider games are kind of rough around the edges when it comes to, especially the end game of like Tomb Raider 1 is so tedious and I don't like it. I remember having it on PS1, hating it, trying to finish it. But I heard some people play the remasters and like them. More power to you. I just was not interested. Maneater is now back on Game Pass. They brought it back. There you go. Maybe I'll play it someday. I don't know. No Sleep Real Vibes. I don't know. He said, I'm excited for more Alone in the Dark. How many chapters are there? I don't know. I'm playing the game and enjoying it. I don't spoil. I don't pay attention to that. We need I Am Fish 2. I Am Fish was great, remember? Puzzle game? Wasn't that from the same makers as Surgeon Simulator? Was it? But I Am Fish was great. I loved that game. It was cute. It was challenging. It was fun. I agree with you. I hope they do make another one or a sequel that's the same style of game, but maybe something even wilder, right? That was a great game. Lords of the Fallen, I don't think I want to. The thing is, Lords of the Fallen has always been a FromSoft knockoff. The first one sucked, then they improved it later, apparently, but I never went back to it. When the new one was announced, I was like, I played Lies of P. I loved Lies of P, and I knew that Lords of the Fallen wasn't going to live up to that, so I never played it. And now Lords of the Fallen is like on big discount everywhere, and no one's really talking about it anymore. I'd much rather just play Elden Ring and the Elden Ring DLC and just pretend like it doesn't exist rather than waste my time with it, right? Cybers TV says, it's not even a thought for me to bring up any latest drama. It's irrelevant. It seems your name only gets brought up if they benefit from it. You're right. As you see, none of... Here's the thing. Some people thrive on drama. Like, the day when someone brings them up is a day that now I don't have to do any thought in my content. I can just rant and rave about a person who brought me up, right? And that's... Think about what the lowest common denominator of content is. It's that drama-style content, right? It's just no effort, lazy shit. Doesn't benefit anyone. It's toxic as hell. It just hurts everyone around you. There's no point in making it. But they do it because it makes them money, right? So some people thrive on it. Me, I want nothing to do with it. I'm completely against it. I don't like that style of content. I don't like to ever have to bring it up at all. I only bring it up when someone drags my name through the mud and there's something so big that people keep asking about that then I'm going to have to respond to, you know? And that's it. So I don't, I really don't care. I don't care what anyone's saying or doing. The less I know about the bullshit, the better. And the funny part is then they don't get what they want because they tried so hard. How many, weeks in a row is my name mentioned on a show? How many, times do people name drop and insult me? And I never bring it up because I don't care. I'm here to do my own content, to enjoy games, to chill with you guys, to have fun, to react to the past, to do good stuff, positive, fun, productive stuff. I'm not here to create drama, insults, gossip, completely toxic trash content to make a buck. It's easy. That's easy mode. That's the easy way in life. And, all it does is it completely screws up YouTube, in my opinion. It just creates this endless circle of trash, As what's his name? That fucking guy, Turkey Tom, when he made the documentary about me, and he literally admits in videos on that channel, I do it to milk people, right? And the more that they bring me up, then I can respond to what they've said about me, and it gives me more content. So it's an endless cycle of me profiting from this drama. And it's like, well, then I'm not going to give you that. I'm not going to ever address it. I'm not going to do an interview with you. I'm not going to watch your fucking documentary. It's stupid as shit. I'm just not going to pay attention to you at all. So you get nothing. You get your initial views from morons, and then that's it. And then it goes away, right? There you go. And then the cycle ends, and I get to just enjoy doing my content and being left alone. So there you go. Yeah, we haven't done a Game Pass game in a long time because we haven't had a chance. We just haven't had a chance to check out Game Pass because I've been so busy with so many releases. I would say later this month would definitely be an opportunity for that. Once we beat Alone in the Dark, which is probably next week, we will have opportunity to figure out what we want to do next. And we'll see. Yeah, Dark Pictures Anthology are making new games. They're working on them right now, right? They're working on the season 2. Because the first 4 games were so good that they greenlit the whole new, a whole new slew of them. Okay. I did play Stardew Valley once during an Indies marathon ages ago, and we never went back to it. So, all right, I think it's time to end the show. All right, it is time to begin. Let's say goodbye for now. Thanks for a fun April 1st podcast. By the way, this entire podcast has been a joke. We're now going to begin the real podcast. Hello, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Level 1 podcast for Monday, April 1st, 2024. It's April Fool's Day. All right. Everyone, thanks for watching the show today. I hope you enjoyed. And tomorrow, I'll get to talk a little bit, hopefully, about real news. Too hard to do that today, right? Annoyingly hard to talk about real news today. But maybe tomorrow we'll have some. Oh, by the way, I got to get rid of the Happy Easter picture. Hold on a second here. I still have the Easter bunny in here. Where is it? Street Fighter, Witcher 3, Oblivion, Spring. There it is. Let's get rid of that. Easter was yesterday. We can get that out of the rotation now. There we go. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the Level 1 podcast. Tomorrow, hopefully, we'll have some real news. I'll give you updates on the games I'm playing, and we'll have a chill, fun time as usual. Thanks for watching. See you on the other side of Fool's Day.